It's okay if people don't think I'm the best, but I still want to be the best. My attitude is not based on my results, it's based on my drive.
For me, the more people watch you, the more pressure you had. And for me, it was the more pressure you have, the better you play.
Me becoming a sub, I always thought I was going to be out of the scene since I was not on a team roster. And then winning LAN, it made me realize that I'm actually a really good player. And that's, I think, why I'm a world champion. It's because I took criticism in a good way to turn it around and make myself better.
I think my mechanics are like not the best. We all like not always the best choice. And it's just unique. I don't consider it the best, but it's unique.
I mean, I don't think we've ever lost to the Flying Dutchman, so it's true. I don't think we have ever lost to the Flying Dutchman, so I think we're very confident. They're probably like, you know, crapping themselves because they're like, oh no.
If you got together 10 different people and you had them make a list of the greatest Rocket League players of all time, I bet that no two lists would be the same. This is mainly because people have different criteria for determining greatness. Today I'm giving you my picks for the greatest players of all time, but before we get into this, let me explain my rationale, because I know some of you are going to be really mad that your favorite player was left out. So there's more to this than just pure skill or success in competition, though both of these things are major factors. I'm including overall influence within the Rocket League community, and also the ability to perform under pressure, as well as the player's length of career and consistency. I have a lot of things going in my head when I make a list like this. That's why I've titled this the 10 greatest players, not the 10 best players, because technically every player from RLCS Season 4 would demolish every player from Season 1. So some of these factors are weighed more heavily than others. Regardless, I hope you guys like this one. Also, before we get into this, I just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by GAMERLINK. So GAMERLINK is this really cool app that helps people find other players of the same game who are of similar interests. So if you're sick of solo queuing, which I know a lot of you are because a lot of you tell me that you are, go download this app and start finding people who are in similar ranks to play with. And you can even add hashtags to find players who are on the same platform as you or who want to use Discord. And here's the best part, it's completely free. I think my favorite part about this app is how specific you can get. Like, let's say you're Champ 1 and you want to play ranked doubles with someone on EU servers who wants to use Discord. You can specify all of that to find the perfect person to queue up with. And who knows, you might even find a lifelong friend. I've put a link in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Alright, let's get into my picks for the 10 best Rocket League players of all time. Number 10, Killa. Killa is really the only player on this list who hasn't competed in RLCS, but I still think he deserves to be recognized as one of the greatest players of all time, mainly because of his success in ones. He's won multiple major 1v1 tournaments, plus he's held the highest overall rank in ones since Rocket League first came out. So in a lot of ways, Scrub has really helped to make 1v1 what it is today. He's managed to have multiple accounts in the top 5 for ones in the last 2 seasons, all while streaming virtually every ranked game. And in a lot of ways, Scrub is really the epitome of what it takes to succeed in Rocket League. He's smart, and he plays consistently, but he also knows how to adapt to his opponents. He's definitely one of the best players, and I'm really excited to see how he does in RLCS. Number 9, ViolentPanda. In terms of earnings, ViolentPanda is actually number 2 in the world, alongside his teammates Turbopolsa and Kaydop. What would you do with this kind of money? Maybe buy tighter pants? Anyways, though he did place second at the RLCS Season 2 World Championship, ViolentPanda really brought himself into the conversation in the last 6 months or so, leading Gale Force in their absolute domination of almost every major tournament, including the EU Regional Championship and the Season 4 RLCS Championship. Now, in terms of overall skill and mindset and awareness, I'd say ViolentPanda may be the most valuable player in the world right now. He definitely deserves to be in the top 5 in terms of just overall skill and ability. But I haven't put him that high on my list, mainly because his success has been relatively recent. Number 8, Remkoe. Remkoe first appeared on the scene when his team We Dem Girls became really the rivals to Flipside in Season 1 of RLCS. They were really the first non-SARP veteran team in Europe that could really challenge Flipside, and I think this team had a really big part in changing how threes was played. So they were known for like sending multiple players up for pass plays, and they just played with this incredible speed all the time. When they were playing well, they really played like on another level than all the other teams. Until Season 3, Remkoe's teams really couldn't break out of that second and third place curse for RLCS. But at the Season 3 LAN, Remkoe led his team through an incredible losers bracket run, and then a bracket reset win alongside Deevo and Turbopolsa. Number 7, Markydooda. Though Markydooda has always been a rather polarizing figure, it's hard to deny he's one of the greatest players of all time, leading the oldest European Rocket League team, Flipside Tactics, to countless tournament wins, including the incredible losers bracket run of the Season 2 LAN. Though he plays really fast and aggressive, he's kind of always been that rock for Flipside to sort of free up his other teammates. He's also one of those players that had a really big influence in the scene without having to be a content creator. I'm really not sure what his plans are for Rocket League at this point, but I really hope he keeps competing, because I've always enjoyed watching him play. Besides Scrub Killa, Squishy Muffinz is the only player to make it on my list who hasn't won an RLCS World Championship. So why pick Squishy over players who have had more success in tournaments? Well, I will say that first, his team has done really well, and actually there are very few players who have had as much success as Squishy in tournaments. He's led his team to multiple LAN victories, including their debut LAN performance at DreamHack Atlanta, where the Muffin Men really showed what they were capable of. They've beaten every major team in the world, and it doesn't look like Squishy is stopping anytime soon. So there's that competitive side of things, but more than that, I've put him so high on the list because of his influence within the community. In terms of mechanics, Squishy is one of the most innovative players of all time. There's really not much more you can say about this. Yeah, he has his fanboys, and I'm kind of one of them, but honestly, he's consistently showed us that there's always more possible within this game than what we think. I've also included him in this list because of his success in ones. I'd definitely say he's one of the best North American ones players of all time. Number 5, Deevo. Deevo basically came out of nowhere in Season 2. He was one of the first players to consistently pull off ridiculous air dribbles and double touches in RLCS. He quickly became known as the flashiest player in Rocket League. Placing second and first in RLCS, Deevo's teams have had a ton of success in competitions. But what really makes Deevo stand out to me is his playstyle. I've made an entire video looking at Deevo. Oh wait, I've actually made videos about all of these players pretty much. Anyways, he's the most fearless player. I guess you could call it confidence, I don't know. I think he really helped people see that just because a shot is incredibly difficult for you now, it doesn't mean that it always has to be. And even if you feel like, oh, I'll never get that down, it's possible to be consistent at hitting incredible shots. And he showed us that even against the best teams and the best players in the world, it is actually possible for one player to basically take over by creating so much offensive pressure. So it doesn't matter if you're playing ones, doubles, or threes, Deevo is honestly one of the scariest players of all time. Number 4, Kronovi, aka The Mountain. Kronovi was the first ever RLCS World Champion, and recently the first E-League Champion, apart from kind of being Rocket League's poster boy, and really dominating the early days of Rocket League. Kronovi's playstyle is actually what I find most interesting. He often cares more about positioning than boost, which in turn makes him a really frustrating player to play against if you're trying to boost starve him. Kronovi really deserves this spot, not only because he was the first RLCS World Champion and really incredibly dominant back in the day, but also because he's proven that he can still lead his team to compete against anyone in the world. In terms of results, he's really been through a lot since Season 1. If G2 hadn't bounced back the way that they did at RLCS and then obviously E-League, I probably wouldn't have ranked Kronovi this high. Regardless, I definitely think he's earned this spot. Number 3, Turbopolsa. Turbopolsa is the only player to win the RLCS championship 2 times, and in the last 6 months, he's been completely dominant. Although you could make the argument that because he's won 2 times, he should probably be higher on the list. But as we said earlier, there's more factors to being great than just results in tournaments. So Turbo really didn't make an impact in Rocket League until Season 3 RLCS LAN, where he subbed for Maestro and really led Northern Gaming to that win. Turbo went on to win his next championship when he faced Gale Force for Season 4 with Kaydop and ViolentPanda. So they won Season 4, and as I've said before, we kind of live in a Gale Force era. They're hands down the best team right now. I think his overall value as a player is shown in his ability to be dominant in back-to-back seasons with 2 completely different teams. Not a lot of players can say this. Number 2, Kaydop. Kaydop is one of the most dominant, efficient, and reliable players. Some of his results include being part of the duo that won the Universal 2v2 Open, rlcs Season 4 Championship, and countless second and first places in major tournaments. Now, I could see an argument for Kaydop being number 1. I guess maybe it's just the fact that he's been a part of teams that have placed second so often. Some examples being Markydooda at the Season 3 LAN, DreamHack Atlanta, X Games, and the most recent E-League with Gale Force. Regardless, Kaydop is a total monster, and you could make the case that he should be number 1. It could kind of go either way for me. Kaydop is also one of the best ones players of all time. He's had better success against great players like Scrub and Deevo than just about anybody else. And at one point, he was number 1 in the rankings for 1v1 by almost 100 points. Really what makes Kaydop so great is that he's one of those players that makes everyone around him better. He's like an elevator. He just lifts people up. Before I reveal my pick for the greatest Rocket League player of all time, here are a few honorable mentions. Alright, my pick for the greatest Rocket League player of all time. Doomsee. I mean, Cooksier. Most of you probably saw this coming. Really, until recently, Cooksier has held this spot as the best in the world. You could probably argue that Cooksier has earned this spot because he's been so good for so long. He's just won so many tournaments, including the ridiculous lower bracket run and bracket reset in the Season 2 World Championship. But we all know it's more than that. It's bigger than just his success. For me, it's simply how clutch Cooksier has been. Like, if you're in a pinch, get it? And you need a clutch player to come through for you, Cooksier is that player. Now add on top of this the fact that he's such a mysterious player, and he really has a unique outlook at the game. Really not sure how you can argue against him being number 1, but whatever. Alright, there you have it, my picks for the greatest Rocket League players of all time. I'd love to see what your list looks like, so if you guys want, put it in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out the free app GamerLink that I mentioned earlier to find like-minded Rocket League players just like you, and you can actually find that right in the description below. Until next time, peace out.